Thank you so much for downloading the episode. On the show today, we talk about Breast Cancer Awareness Month. We also talk about Paula's experience at the Def Leppard Journey concert. All of this plus our Ugly and Awkward Moments of the Week, sponsored by lipandclip.com. Thank you so much. Enjoy the show.
It's another uncensored look at the world around you, from sisters who will say just about anything to anyone at any time. It's the Ugs. Jamie.
Come on, kids. I want to show you what we used to party to out on the beach.
Paula.
When I'm in a man's presence, it's basically like my asshole's been sewed shut.
Uncensored as always, it's time for the Ugly Truth.
Welcome to the Ugly Truth. It is episode 313. Ugh. Are you screamed out from last night?
No, not really.
But we are Sisters Who podcast.
Yes, it's just my eye is falling asleep, so...
I'm sorry? Are you stroking?
My eye. No, I'm not. I'm
what do you
just
mean
tired.
Your eye is falling asleep?
Well, it's not falling asleep. It just keeps closing.
Well, wake up!
I know. I already had a cup of coffee. So.
Oh, well, make it work. Hey, I have been battling a migraine all morning. And so luckily the silver lines have dissipated. I can actually see out of both of my eyes. It's funny because Daryl goes, "Don't you stroke out on me." And I'm like, I'm not going to stroke out on you. Okay. I've been dealing with migraine for 2 days. The Imitrex is working, which sometimes it doesn't. So I'm very pleased that it's working. And we're moving forward with the show. Anyway. Welcome to the Ugly Truth. I'm Jamie with my sister Paula. It is October, and although it has been said a gajillion times if you're on social media or you watch television or listen to the radio, it is Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
Oh.
And the reason I'm bringing it up is a friend I went to high school with has breast cancer. I just found out.
Oh, no.
She had a mastectomy and is at home now, and she is pissed. She is pissed that she has it. And by the way, we're young to be getting breast cancer. We're young. So I don't know if it runs in her family or it doesn't even matter, because it just doesn't even matter. But I know, without getting too specific, I know that she has been dealing with her boob for a while. And so they've been trying to figure it out. Once they figured it out, they said, she's like, get it out of me. And so she had a full mastectomy. She's just like, get it out. Which
she
is
just had the one boob removed?
I don't know. But I mean, in this day and age, you can have fake boobs and no one would ever know. I mean, it's not hard. You know, now the technology for breast implants is so sophisticated. You can have breast implants and people won't even know they're fake. Like, it's really good.
Well, that's what I'm saying is I'm like, well, shit, if I have it in one, take them both out so I can get a boob job.
Right. So maybe she did. I don't know. She didn't get super specific about it, but you know, she did. And she's like, it is what it is. I have it. End of discussion. I'm getting that shit out of me and I'm moving on with my life. So she's recovering now. So I hope she's feeling better. But it just reminded me that a lot of women take advantage and go, you know what? I should do a thorough exam because you touch your own breast to feel. And my doctor, who's super aware of how anxious I am about things like that. Mm-hmm. When he does when I go in for my annual, they do the breast exam and he goes, everything should feel like grapes. If you feel anything that's hard, that's when you need to call someone and have it looked at. It doesn't mean it's cancer, but it just means it's something that probably shouldn't be there. And so every year he does the exam and I just wait for him to go, oh, well, this is different.
Oh, God.
So far, so good. But I'm just saying.
To stop talking and then, you're like, what? What is it?
You're like, I can't hear it after that. My anxiety gets to a point when something like that happens that I literally can't hear anymore. My ears, I basically go deaf. So it's like, I can't, my anxiety. Yeah, I can't hear a thing. I would probably be completely zoned out and practically catatonic. But anyway, now is the time to check your boobs, ladies. And if you haven't, or if you don't make it a regular thing, make it a regular thing. Do it in the shower when you're all soapy and everything feels sexy and good. And then get in there and really check them out, because you'd rather feel it than not feel it. And then go, oh shit. You want to take care of it as soon as possible. And that's how I am too. I mean, I'd be freaking out about it, but at least she caught it early, nothing spread anywhere. So that's the best thing to do. You, young lady, are turning 40 this year, which means...
Gee, thanks for the announcement.
You've been saying it for weeks.
I know. It's just different when somebody else says it.
I apologize. You're turning 34, but you're close enough that you need to start considering the mammogram.
I know. I've been thinking about that.
You have to do it. I mean,
need to get a physical and then get the squeeze. And I mean, I still have to get the duck lips done.
Oh, the gyno?
Yeah.
Well, I hardly doubt anything is going on down there that is of concern, but yes, you should get your pap.
I've been thinking about that lately. I'm probably like a walking cancer.
You are not. Oh my God.
I told you what my cat's been doing.
Yes. Yes, you have. He
Wasn't
won't leave
there
you
a
alone.
cat like was it real life or maybe it was a show? But there was this black cat that started hanging around. It was in a hospital. It started hanging around on people's beds, and then like within 24 hours, those people died.
Listen, if you're staying in a hospital where cats are free to roam, you're probably not in the United States.
Yeah,
but
true.
A cat who hung out at a hospice or an old folks home, and it would hang out with the dying. And, they were super elderly, and then they would pass away. The cat was basically the angel of death. God. So
I'd be like, get off!
Now, if your dogs started sniffing around, I would go, what's up? Because they smell cancer. They do. It's so strange.
They wouldn't leave me alone last week because I was on my period.
Hormones.
They are. They just kind of hang around and...
Bodega, my husky, is like that. When I'm on my period, he won't leave me alone either.
As soon as I get up from the couch and start walking away, Paula instantly starts licking the couch. He's filthy.
That is disgusting.
There's nothing on there.
I know, but it's weird. You know what?
I come back and the whole cushion is just soiled and dog spit.
That is so inappropriate.
We can't stop him from licking the couch, Jamie.
No. I know. Just that the dog is doing it, not you personally.
Yeah.
I'd be like, Pablo, you are far too indoor for this life. You need to go outside and fend for yourself.
You know what was cute though is we got him a bone the other day and he took it outside and he buried it in the garden.
That's so cute. So he is part dog. Well, that's good. Anyway, so back to the subject of boobs. At the very least, check their own breasts and, really do your due diligence, and I mean, I can tell you Daryl's done it.
He's checked your breasts?
Oh, yeah. Because, I mean, it's not a bad thing. I mean, they don't mind.
Well, they're touching them constantly, so.
Exactly. And when I would go through my periods of anxiety where I thought for sure there was something wrong, he'd be like, I have touched every inch of your body. I have touched every inch of your breast, and I can tell you there is nothing in there other than what's supposed to be.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I'm not shy. Usually I'm like, I've got this weird bump on my butt. Can you look at it?
Yes. You're like, inner thigh, right by my lip here. Can you see that?
Yeah,
Get
right.
close.
How's it taste? No, I'm just kidding.
Or that scene in This Is 40 where he thinks he has a hemorrhoid, and so he's laying spread eagle on the bed with the mirror.
Yes.
And he's like, can you look at this? He goes, hey, I watched you birth 3 of our children. And then he hikes up his legs. He goes, take a look.
Payback's a bitch.
Yeah. So she looks down. She goes, it's a hemorrhoid. And she walks out. I would never do that for Daryl. In a million years, I would never first of all, I can't even picture it in my brain. But if he were to be pantless on our bed with my new LED mirror trying to look at his asshole, and he said, can you come in and look at this? I'd be like, no, call the doctor. I'm not doing that. We are not those people. We keep it sexy.
Yeah, I don't think Victor would ever allow something like that. He's just too vain.
Well, most people are. Although, you hear those couples like, oh, we do everything in front of each other. We're one person. I'm like, no.
Yeah, those are people that poop and fart in front of each other.
I can't even imagine. I was listening to a show and the guy, they're like, well, don't you fart and poop in front of your girlfriend or your wife? And he's like, no, we keep it sexy. And I'm like, thank you. Finally, a voice of reason in this crazy world. Thank you. I close the door. I don't do any of that. No.
I don't see anything wrong with that.
Nothing's wrong. Oh, what? In farting in front of people?
No,
keeping it sexy. Absolutely. I'm like, no. How can you be aroused by someone that you've seen pee and poo and fart in front of. Like, it's bad enough that Daryl has to see me without makeup on and slick head after a shower. Can't we just kind of keep some mystery so that we're somewhat sexually aroused at some point in our lives? Really?
Right.
I'm sorry, but I just will not do those things in front of others. In fact,
I only fart in front of him when I'm sleeping.
on accident.
I can't
we're just
control
humans.
it.
Well, of course. Of course. That's different. And, you know, there's a mutual understanding. We don't mention that when that happens.
It's like being in a coma.
Have you ever farted and woken yourself up?
No.
Really? Oh, but you're medicated.
I've woken myself up talking.
What did you say to yourself?
I don't know. Remember I told you that one time I was singing Rehab by Amy Winehouse?
Who? Wait, what?
I was singing that song.
Amy Winehouse.
Oh, Winehouse. Sorry.
Amy Winehousen?
I was singing
Is
Rehab.
that her sister? That's her German sister. Yes.
I was doing that. I must have been on a lot of medication.
Probably. Oh, that's so funny. Well, I've done that, and it's very embarrassing. And I wake up and my eyes are wide. I'm like, oh my God, please tell me Daryl's asleep because I don't want to have to deal with that.
Was he propped up just staring at you?
No, he was asleep. He was asleep, thank God. I'm sure it's happened. I'm just saying that, you know, we don't acknowledge it when it occurs. We just, you know, it is what it is. So I've heard of women farting when someone's going down on them, though.
They gave him a Dutch oven.
Is that what it's called when that happens?
When you fart and then you shove someone's head under the sheets and
Okay,
then you hold it down, that's called a Dutch oven.
Okay, that's not what I'm talking about.
It's practically a Dutch oven, though.
When a guy is going down on a girl and she farts in his face.
Why would she do that?
Accident, I would assume.
What if you hold that shit in? I've never accidentally.
Well, I'm just saying that it could happen. I'm not saying I've done it, but I'm just saying, you know, what if you went out for a really nice steak dinner and then you came back and...
When I'm in a man's presence, it's basically like my asshole's been sewed shut.
Unless they're into it.
It is non-functioning at that time.
Yeah. Do you remember when we were growing up in school and the word butt fucking was real big?
Butt fucking?
You butt fucker. Don't you remember that? I always used to say that. Do you not?
No.
Okay. I just remember that being a big word, and now I don't really hear that very much anymore.
When I was doing research for remember our gay show, like watching gay porn?
Yes.
I started typing something and it popped up like fart box or something.
What's a fart box?
I don't know. And so I asked Victor, I'm like, what is this? I'm like, what's a fart box? And he's just like, you don't watch porn, do you? I'm like, no.
No. What is it?
I
Did you
don't
Google
know. I didn't want to.
Oh.
I didn't want to know.
Well, it sounds vile, first of all.
Sounds windy.
Fart box. I'm afraid to Google it. Wait, that's not okay. It's not Fitbit. God, I'm so incredibly.
Take off the parental controls, JB.
Oh, okay.
Is it just a butthole?
Another name for ass. Oh, is that all?
It's just
The rectum anal entrance. Roxy's fart box is well used and very loose. What?
Is that sexy?
A woman's anus used in sexual relations. I tongue punched your mom in the fart box. Oh, that's so appropriate.
That's gross.
Okay, so fart box is just another word for butt hole. Okay. Whatever. Well, there you have it. We learn something new every day. Speaking of new and old, you went to the Geriatric show last night. Def Leppard and who?
Journey.
Without Steve Perry.
Right.
See, I have a problem with that. I mean, I know you went for Def Leppard because you love Def Leppard.
Right.
But I would struggle with the Journey. Did Journey open?
No.
Oh, okay.
So Def Leppard opened, and I think it's all original bandmates.
Is the armless drummer there?
He was there.
Okay, then.
You know, they all sounded pretty good. The lead singer, he's a little rough, but I mean, he's been doing this for, like 30 something years. And
well, his hair looks like it's been pulled out of the drain for sure.
I'm not sure that that's his real hair. And so they were playing, and they played a couple of their hits, and then they started playing like a song that Tesla sings, and then they did another song that they wrote it, but somebody else sang it. And I'm just like, enough of this. I'm like, sing your own stuff. You have plenty of it.
Well, I mean, how was the crowd?
I would say age 50 and up.
So there were no youngsters there?
Maybe there were. There was probably...
I don't have a ton of friends like some people do, but I have enough that I get a good segment of the population. Mm-hmm. And I would say that there were a handful of people that I'm friends with on social media who went to the Def Leppard show.
Yeah.
And everybody pretty much had the seats that you did. So my guess is that everybody pretty much bought the tickets at the same time, and those are the seats that you get. And nobody took pictures of Journey. It was all Def Leppard. And the other thing was, one of my friends said, there is nobody under the age of 30 in the house. Mm-hmm. It is the Senior Citizens Express. Yeah, it is. They didn't say they didn't have fun. Some people said, oh, they still have it. They still got it. And I'm like, well, that's good. I mean, they're musicians. You would hope that they still were able to play and sing and be entertaining. I mean, the light show looked amazing.
Yeah, the lights were really good. And so finally, like, towards the middle last of their show, they started playing Hysteria, Pour Some Sugar on Me, Armageddon, all of the Rock of Ages. So they started playing all that stuff. So that was really good. Yeah, finally, yes, it got really good. So I was really impressed that they still had everything. That guitar player, he used to have short blonde hair. I think he's just bald now.
Yeah.
But he is ripped big time.
Oh, good arms.
Good stomach. He's got a 6-pack. He played the whole show shirtless.
Interesting. So he's like, I want you to know what a 6-year-old man can look like, damn it. We aren't all flab. I mean, the thing is, here's the problem, is I've always been distracted by the irony of a drummer losing his arm and continuing with other limbs. I would have been so distracted by that the whole night. I'd be like, look at him go. I would be impressed, not offended or disgusted, but it would be difficult for me to just lose myself in the music because I would be constantly watching him play the drums.
Yeah, well, we were far enough away that it was pretty okay.
Oh, that's good.
But they did have little jumbotrons at the top, and so even though we couldn't see them, across the masses,
you can watch
still watch the jumbotron. So we were people watching, and
for sure,
there's always the women that you can tell they don't get out often because they're trying to dress slutty, but their clothes don't match. There's different shades of black.
It's like, I had to borrow my daughter's T-shirt.
I give him props because I'm like, I know you don't get out much. And then I'm thinking, well, I don't get out much. Maybe I don't match.
What did you wear? What did you wear?
Just this black sequency kind of tank top, with a razor back, jeans and black boots. I mean,
so basically the PTA mom outfit for a Friday night.
Is that what it is? Okay.
Pretty much. Everybody's got their sequins.
I wasn't wearing a bra though.
Oh, sexy. So they were hanging nice and low.
So you could tell.
You don't have saggy boobs though, so
no,
it's probably fine.
They're perky.
I actually can get away without wearing a bra either, believe it or not. Mine do not sag either, but it is quite a show.
Yeah.
It is quite a show. So I don't do it often. So anyway, well, excitement. Congratulations for staying up past 10 o'clock on a weeknight. Good for you.
Yeah, we were thrilled.
You know what though? I'm a fan of live music. I wouldn't necessarily buy a ticket, but it was a gift and you went and you had a good time, right? Mm-hmm. Did you and Victor have a good time together?
Yeah, we had a good time.
Good.
We had more fun people watching.
Well, of course, that's the best part.
Making fun of everyone, but
yeah, well, when you have a very healthy ego, as we do, it's always nice to judge others in public.
Accusing him of looking at all the cute girls with big boobs and
all the housefraus who got gussied up for the evening.
Or the 19-year-olds that are wearing like these skin-tight dresses with
with their sugar daddy.
I don't know what they were with, but I'm just like, God. I'm like,
so there were some young ones there.
Yes, there were, a few. What was weird was there was like, older people, not like old, but just older, and they were there with like their teenagers.
They were there with like their kids. It's like, come on, kids, I want to show you what we used to party to out on the beach when I was your age. This is what we called music.
Jeez. Then they get to Journey and they're just like, that guy doesn't belong. What it?
One of these things is not like the other. Yeah, it's funny. I have been to, because of Daryl's line of work, I've had the privilege of seeing a lot of super popular performers that kids love. Malia, my 18-year-old, these are all people that she loves. So she gets to go and see, Logic and Halsey and, Bruno Mars is probably even on the little older skew now because moms like Bruno Mars, so he's not cool anymore.
Oh, I like Bruno Mars.
Everyone likes Bruno Mars. Yeah, exactly. If moms like it, chances are kids are not into it anymore. For example, I don't know if I told you this or not, but Daryl, he messaged me yesterday and he goes, my dad added me on Snapchat. And I said, well, Snapchat's dead. Yeah. Once the grandparents are adding people on Snapchat, you can rest assured the high schoolers are over it. And they're moving on to something else.
I stopped using Snapchat so long ago because I couldn't figure out how it worked.
I love Snapchat, but, I'm a parent. So at some point, the kids are going to find something else. And we'll be left with Snapchat. I don't know about you, but Facebook is dying. Like, no one ever is on there anymore.
I like Facebook, but
I just am bored. I'm, because everyone's so fucking outraged. And it's like, I thought I had filtered that shit out. And now people are just been gaslit. They're in it and they're pissed. And it's like, oh, God, I thought this is what Twitter's for. I go to Twitter to find out how bad the world is. Facebook, I want to see, I've lost 15 pounds or, buy my oils or whatever. That kind of stuff is what I like to see on Facebook.
Yeah. I like Instagram, but
I have not been on Instagram, and that's my bad. I haven't been feeling, I always feel like on Instagram I have to be in a creative mood, or, I like to go shopping for makeup on Instagram because I like all of the influencers who are selling palettes or lips or eyelashes or whatever. Mm-hmm. And I do like the fall photos, the pictures of people camping, because I would never do it, or, pictures of new babies or whatever. Mm-hmm. That's why I like Instagram. I just haven't been on it in a while, but I've been kind of like burned out of social media. So I'm kind of, I truly have been burned out. So yeah. I'm kind of just been divorcing myself from it, but I'm not going to go dark. I just I've seen all there is to see for a while. Maybe.
I agree.
I don't know. Maybe, but I do like Twitter, but I like it because of all the comedians. That's the only reason I'm on Twitter.
I feel silenced on Instagram now because Mom started following me.
Maybe that's what it was. I don't know what to do about that because she likes everything we post.
I know. Well, I mean, how many friends does she have? 3?
No, she has 35, I think. She has a little handful of them. I mean, she does have friends, but it's just, it's the same thing with, Malia won't add me on Snapchat. It's the same reason. And I respect it. I respect that. So I don't know. And I haven't done it yet, but I was going to Google, is there a way to post things and keep one person from seeing it? Is there a way?
I was trying to think the same too.
Is there a way to, and then according to my children, they have Friendsta. They have Friendsta, which is they have a fake Instagram account that the parents can have, and then they have another one that they
too much effort
use for their friends. Yeah, but they're kids. They have all the time in the world. Their biggest problem is homework. It's not like, they're paying bills and, going to a job. So they have time to do all of that stuff. So I don't know. I'm not sure. But I thought about it. I'm like, God, maybe I need a Friendsta so that I can do my vulgar shit and not have to worry about, my mom judging me. And then I'll just take pictures of flowers and food for the other one. I don't know.
I don't know either.
Yeah. Anyway, but what I do know is how awkward we are. So let's do our ugly and awkward moment of the week. You have one. I know you have one.
I do.
You went out in public.
No, I do. So for some reason, I don't know why, and I know this happens to you. Like the day of a big event, like do you just stall, like getting ready or like getting dressed or taking a shower, or once you're showered, like, you know, you just sit on the bed and you like start flipping through Facebook and all that kind of stuff?
You know, I do, because it gets a little, I think it's because of our OCD or anxiety, because we're very type A. And so if we can't do it right, we don't want to do it at all. So if even one thing goes wrong in my process of waking up to get ready for an event, it throws me off completely. And, and I have to get back on track. Like, if we're going out for dinner, I literally won't eat the whole day because I won't be able to eat at dinner. My stomach won't allow it. I don't know what it is. It's crazy.
Like you're starving yourself or something.
And it's dumb, because what happens is an hour before we have to leave, I'm so hungry, I'm ready to gnaw my own hand off. And I start eating nuts or something. And then we get to the restaurant. I'm like, wow, this all looks really good. I wish I was hungry. It's like I self-sabotage myself. But yes, I know what you're saying. I like to, if I'm going out to an event, I like to have the entire day. It's almost like I'm getting ready for my wedding or something every time. I don't know why. It's so crazy. I don't know how we're going to do it when we go out of town together. We're going to have to get there and just, I mean, it's going to be like, okay, I need my time, you need your time. Luckily, the suite we're staying in has 2 bathrooms, so we won't be in each other's way. That was one of the reasons why I upgraded to a suite, by the way, so we'd have our own bathroom.
Yeah, because I just don't know what I'm going to do. But anyways, so yesterday, or the day of the concert, I knew I had to do the concert, but it was like so overwhelming to me for some reason that it's just like I was just walking around like a snail. And Victor's just finally, he's just like, you know that we're leaving in an hour. I'm like, I know. Yeah. He's like, and you know you haven't taken a shower yet. I'm like, I know. I'll get it done.
Oh, Paula, that's really cutting. That's cutting it way too close.
So I took my shower. I got out. And
I need 3 hours.
And then I'm like, what am I going to wear? So I didn't even know what I was going to wear by that point.
See, I'm planning that shit a week in advance.
Finally, he's just like, we have to leave. You know, we're supposed to be there in traffic and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, all right. So I'm like, well, I'll just do my makeup in the car. I pack together all my makeup. We get in the car. We're driving there, and I unzip my makeup, and I had all my makeup, but I forgot all my brushes.
Oh, no!
So I had no way to put on any eyeshadow, any blush, you know.
You have fingers.
I'm not going to use my fingers.
What? I use my fingers for eyeshadow all the time. It's the best tool.
And I had put on like my heavy foundation, which I rarely use.
Your photo ready foundation,
right? So I looked like a ghost, and I was just like, "Oh my god!" I'm like, "What am I going to do?"
What am I going to do? They're like, "Are you a Make-A-Wish?"
Yes, I am.
You're like, "Yes." We're in the back row, though. Can we be upgraded before I die?
Yeah, really. But and I'm just like, why did I do this to myself? I'm like, why?
Well, did you find like a piece of paper to rub on your body?
That's what I tried to do. I found an old receipt in the door.
Good.
So I was like, maybe I can use this.
Great minds, man. Hey, I have done all kinds of things when I forget stuff. I would have done the receipt thing. I would have used my hands for my eyeshadow, and at least you had mascara and eyeliner, right?
I did.
Okay, so you've got that going for you. So at least you might be ghostly, but at least you have eyes on.
Yeah. No, I had eyes, and I had lipstick. So.
You dork.
But I was just like.
So your awkward moment is you didn't have any makeup brushes?
This is just so typical because I know I'm not the only one in our family that does things like this.
Well, obviously, because I knew exactly what you were looking for. You're like, well, we don't live in a world where we have Kleenex in our glove box anymore. It's not the 70s. So you don't have that option. And you don't even have kids in diapers, so you can't even pull a diaper apart to use the innards as a brush, because I would have done that as well. We are very resourceful people. I think if there was some kind of apocalypse, we would be surviving. We would survive it.
Probably.
We are very survivory people. Even though we trip and fall on nothing, we would make it. I know we would, because we would
for a little while.
Until what?
I don't know. Until we didn't.
So there you have it. Okay, so mine, I had to have a root canal last month, which I think we talked about briefly. Yeah. I'm at the dentist all the fucking time, but I don't have to go back till January now. So I'm back on track, which is great. And January is just a checkup. Thank God. Anyway, so I had to go to the dentist. I went really early, and I was getting the permanent crown put on. So I had the temporary, which has been causing me anxiety for 3 weeks, because I'm always afraid it's going to pop off and I don't want to deal with the part. She's like, well, if it comes off, just use a little Vaseline and stick it back on. I'm like, okay, I don't want to do that.
That sounds weird.
Well, it's just to keep it on to protect the tooth. You know? But luckily, the main nerve is gone when you get a root canal, so you really shouldn't feel anything. The problem is it's not dead. There's still nerves. It's just the main nerve is gone.
Right.
And I have ridiculously sensitive teeth, so I was paranoid about it. So I was so glad to go in and get the permanent crown put on. So I go in, and she's like, all right. So they pop the thing off, and I'm just sitting there, and they're getting it all set. So she puts it on, and she goes, can you bite down? I bit down. She goes, okay, great. Open up my mouth. And the crown falls off because it's not glued on yet. Okay. So the crown falls off, but here's the problem. I almost swallowed it.
Oh my God.
She's all, don't swallow it! Really loud at like 8 a.m. And I'm like, and I spit it out, and it's covered in spit.
Gross.
And she's like, oh my God, $700 down your throat. That would have been the worst. And I'm like, yeah, it would have been the worst, because I probably would have choked, and then I would have had the Heimlich in the dentist office at 8 a.m. It would have been awful.
Or you would have had to watch your poo for like a week and see if there was a tooth in there.
Paula, like I would ever put a shit tooth in my mouth.
No, I'm not saying that, but I mean just to make sure it passed.
It would, I'm sure. It's funny that you mentioned that, because Daryl was the same way. He goes, you'd have to watch your poop, and I'm like, okay, no. Why does everybody think that? I would not. I would not be looking in the toilet. That makes me want to throw up. I probably would have thrown it up. I would have rather puked it up than pooped it out.
It's true. Can I borrow a toothbrush? Anyone will do. I'm just going to go in the bathroom for a minute.
Yeah. Luckily, throwing up in a public toilet's not hard.
All you
have to do is mentally envision anything, and it's over. I mean, literally. I can make myself throw up in my own bathroom.
I'm getting nauseous right now.
Sorry. I did not swallow it, so there was none of that, but it was dancing around in the back of my throat and my tongue. And then I had to spit it out. She's like, oh, so she of course had to go and clean it off and dry it off and then put it back on. I did not swallow the tooth, but
that's crazy.
It was awkward, to say the least.
Well, that is the first time you haven't swallowed something, so...
Yeah, that's true. It was uncomfortable. I didn't know how to spit it out.
You're like, I'm not used to this.
I should have said, like, I'm not used to not swallowing. I'm sorry. I don't understand. They'd be like, okay, TMI. Like
ha, Miss Minor, we expected that from you.
There are so many sexual innuendos when I go to the dentist. I know it's all me because I have a crush on my dentist, so I'm sure that it's only me. But in my mind, I'm like, God, I'm filthy. Except I didn't know what fart box was. But other than that, I just think of all the things.
What are you going to do?
Not swallow at the dentist office.
Ugh.
Would you like to clean out your mouth and spit?
Actually, it wouldn't be so bad if I had that little squirter hose.
What?
Like those little instruments that they have.
What would you use it for?
The suction?
Yeah.
Just close your mouth. It's like...
God, those things they're very strong, too.
Well, I'd rather do that than swallow something.
Oh, God. I'm not a fan. I mean, you do what you got to do in life. I'm just saying. They don't call it a job for nothing.
Seriously. That's what Victor and I were talking about when we were walking up the stairs to get the car last night.
Blowjobs?
Yeah. I don't know why we were talking about those, but...
it happens. Somebody probably said something about somebody walking by.
And I'm just man, these stairs are ridiculous, because we had to go up 4 flights of stairs. And
were you were in that parking garage across the street?
Yeah. But there's no elevator.
Yeah, well, healthy.
Yeah, but my thighs were killing me.
I can see how this went to blowjobs. Because it was work, right?
I think I said they don't call this a job for nothing or something like that.
Yes.
But
that's funny. Anyway, well, I don't know. There are no winners. I know we used to reward points for each other, but now it's like, is there really a winner anymore?
No, there aren't.
Okay, so what have we learned today? We have learned that we need to check our breasts in a non-sexual way to ensure there's nothing in there. Get your mammograms, ladies, if you are of the age where it's time. Do not neglect those. Our mom is the worst, by the way. She goes, I haven't had a mammogram in like 4 years. I'm like, Mother! God, are you serious? Get it done. Get it done. Please get it done. There are places
especially since cancer runs in the family.
It kind of does. None of us are going to die from cancer, I don't think. But the habits of the women in our mother's side of the family, lots of drinking and smoking, seem to be a trigger. So, luckily none of us smoke. The drinking is pretty minimal. So I'm hopeful that we will prevent that from happening. And we don't have bad diets. None of us are morbidly obese or anything like that. We're active, we're mentally ill, but physically we seem to be all right. So
I wonder if we could actually be so terrified of breast cancer that we could produce a tumor.
I've thought about that. That's so weird that you said that. I've thought about that. I've thought, can I give myself so much anxiety about getting diagnosed with breast cancer that I actually give myself breast cancer? I mean, I don't think so. I don't think that's possible. But if anybody can do it, it'll be me.
Yeah.
But I don't think so.
They're like, you actually procured a tumor in your breast. We've never seen this before.
Yeah. The other thing is also, most of the women in our family had hysterectomies at a very, very young age. And so there was, I believe, a lot of hormone prescriptions and things like that. And that absolutely can escalate or cause, hormones essentially is what they think, the female cancers like ovarian and breast, from what I understand, are hormone induced. So it is possible that is why some of our family members have had breast cancer, but none of them have ever died from breast cancer. It has always been something they get through and then they move on with their life and they pass away from other things like emphysema or, a stroke or something of that nature. So,
well, maybe I'll hang on to my rickety old sack.
Yeah. And then not only that, but our aunt had the test done for the BRCA gene.
Yeah.
And we don't have it. So that's good news. So, it's all about environmental and taking care of our bodies and being proactive with our health. And it's just all of those things. And I know that we have listeners who have endured a touch of breast cancer and are survivors. I would consider that a huge win, obviously. And so I think they would also agree that taking care of yourself and being proactive with the boob checks are imperative.
Yeah.
So do it, ladies. Just do it.
Cop a feel.
Touch yourself.
Well, that's
men
good.
too, I guess. Men should do it too.
Men can get breast cancer too.
Oh, by the way, I was watching Dr. Pimple Popper on YouTube. Her YouTube channel is the best. And I hadn't in a really long time because I was watching them so regularly. There weren't any new ones. So I kind of waited so I could save them up and watch a couple. Because
I stopped watching them because I started to get grossed out. Which
really?
is really difficult to do, but...
Wow, that's strange. Maybe I don't know. You burn through things, though.
Yeah.
Like, you go through things where you go, oh, I love it. And then you're like, I can't stand it. It's disgusting to me. And then you move on to a new thing.
I just watched it, and I'm like, ugh, God.
So did you see... I don't know when the last time you saw it, but she had a guy who was probably somewhere between your age and my age. and he had a skin tag on the back of his knee, on the, behind, right above his calf, and it looked like a testicle. It was huge.
Oh,
And-
is that the one that it almost looked like a little brain?
Yes.
I think I saw that one.
It just posted the other day that when I saw it, his wife tricked him and took him to the dermatologist, and she said, "We're getting this done." And he was terrified to get it done. And I don't really know why he was so afraid, but you could hear him talking. He was practically trying not to cry the entire time.
Why would you let that hang off your leg for so long?
Does he never wear shorts? Because you can't walk around with that thing hanging off, dangling around.
There were thin parts. I would just get nail clippers.
Well, I don't know if it was that thin, but she numbed him up, and even if he phantomly thought he felt something, she gave him more numbing stuff. She's really good about that. Mm-hmm. She cut that thing off with one swipe of an X-Acto knife, and then took scissors and trimmed up the rest, and it was gone. And she's like, there is a little cyst under there, but we're not going to deal with that today. Because I think she even said that she would put him to sleep for that because he was just too anxious.
Yeah.
But cutting that foreign object off, and the wife is in the bag, and she's like, yeah, I tricked him into coming. I mean, we can't. She goes, so she married you with this thing? She even said, so she married you with this on your leg. Okay, great.
I don't think they could do that.
I would say, I will marry you upon removal of this testy that is on the back of your leg. And then we are all systems go. Can you imagine being sexual with him and just accidentally running across that thing?
No.
The
jokes would be endless.
I would not be. I'd be like, so how are you and Testy doing? Testy
How are
time.
you and Pinky and the Brain going today?
Be like, brain. Yeah, it would be endless. He would break up with me.
I'm not nice enough to handle something like that.
And that awkward conversation is like, the first time you're gonna get naked in front of each other. He's like, okay, well, there's something I have to tell you. Like, oh God, what? Well, I have this thing in the back of my knee. What is it? Is it a mole? Well, I don't really know what it is. I'm like, okay. And I'd be like, wow.
It's like a skin tag. And then he
like,
shows it. And I'd be like, holy God, that is not a skin tag.
That's something else. That's alien. What is this? Is this your just vestigial twin? Like, what is this? Are there teeth in there?
Does it pulsate?
God, is there a vein in it?
Does it have its own heart?
God. Do you feed it? Do you rub things on it? What are we doing? What do you have to wash it? God.
Oh my God. Do you tape it to your leg or?
You know what? That's a good idea. Be like, you ace bandage that thing and we can do it.
We're fine.
But we can't have that thing dangling. I'm sorry. We can't have that. How do you put jeans on?
It just doesn't sound safe.
How do you wear anything? What do you do? I saw one dude who had something on his knee and it was so large that he couldn't put pants on without pain.
Oh.
So he had it for like 13 years. Men are so... This is why men need partners. This is why they need someone living with them at all times. Because they will neglect and ignore until they die. Literally will die before they address a glaring issue. Right?
I know. Finally go to the doctor and they're like, well, I just thought I'd get this checked out.
They're like, well, you have a week to live.
Yeah, that's stage 4 cancer.
Yeah, your leg is literally rotting off of your body because you have cancer.
We have to amputate.
God. And
really?
so
that extreme? And the doctor's like, really? 13 years?
So she cuts this open and I mean a gallon of pus comes out.
Ew!
It was she goes seriously, this was like, it probably started as an ingrown hair and it just continued. He literally ignored it for that long. It was impinging his life. I mean, it was ridiculous. And for what? For what? I mean,
it offered no value.
I don't know. And now he has this atrocious scar, but they don't care. Men don't care. It's the oddest thing to me, but I think that in general, men need a second set of eyes in their private life, whatever that is. Another human. No one's meant to be solo forever. You've got to have someone who can go, you might want to take a look at that. I'm just throwing it out there.
When they leave the nest of their mother, they need, to transfer to another nest.
Of some kind. I mean, I'm not saying that there's nothing wrong with being alone sometimes, but I mean, in the long term, I think having a second set of eyes is important. That's
I agree.
All. Anyway. All right. Well, I think that's it. I don't have anything else.
No, I think that's a wrap for today. So thank you everybody for joining us. Be sure to shop our Amazon website. There's plenty of Halloween costumes, children, adults, babies. I believe they actually have good deals on candy as well.
They usually do, yes.
So you can avoid going to the store and getting bogged down in the candy aisle with your shopping cart, because I always enjoy that. And then also you can visit our lipandclip.com and get some makeup. You can use it for Halloween, or you can just use it for everyday use, or both. Doesn't really matter, but they've got some good stuff for you, so be sure to go and check it out. Other than that, have a fabulous Sunday, and we will see you on Wednesday. Bye.
Bye.
That's a wrap. Thanks for listening and sharing the show. See you next time on The Uglee Truth.